Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well and you were able to get some of your homework done. Today I'm going to record solving linear equations starting on page 660 for Appendix A. And so I'll make some short videos today and just continue to keep working on your homework. And if you have any questions, please give me an email, okay? So, linear equations. An equation is a mathematical sentence stating that two quantities are equal. So to solve an equation, you have to find the number of numbers that can replace the variables in the equation to make the equation a true statement. So like A equals B, for instance. So if A equals B, and then A plus C equals B, or A minus C equals B minus C. This is actually B plus C here, sorry. So if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C, or A minus C equals B minus C. Now, if the same quantity is added to or subtracted from both sides of the equation, the resulting equation is equivalent to the original equation. So let's look at one. So if we solve x minus 5 equals minus 9. So what we're trying to do here is get this x on the side by itself. Okay, so we're solving for x. So to do that, if we have a minus sign, then you add both sides to get rid of this negative 5. So x minus 5 plus 5 equals minus 9 plus 5. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. So x minus 5 plus 5, that's going to go away. And then minus 9 plus 5. So x equals minus 4. Okay? The main thing you need to know is whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Whatever you're trying to get rid of, you do the opposite sign. So whether it's minus or a plus. All right, let's look at another one. We're going to solve for x plus 4 equals 29. Okay, so we need to get this x by itself. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So x plus 4 minus 4 equals 29 minus 4. That's going to go away. So x equals 25. Okay? So that's how you do those type problems. Now, if a equals b, let's look at them if we're multiplying or dividing. If a equals b, then AC equals BC, or A divided by C equals B divided by C, with C cannot be 0. Okay? C cannot be 0. Now, if both sides of an equation are multiplied or divided by the same non-zero quantity, the resulting equation is equivalent to the original equation. So real similar to subtracting or adding, but you're going to multiply and divide. So if you have a multiplication, you're going to divide to get rid of it, and if you have a division, you're going to multiply to get rid of it. So let's look at one. Solve 3x equals 18. So 3x equals 18. Now we need to get rid of this x, so we're going to divide this time because they're multiplied. So 3 goes away, and x equals 6. Okay? So let's look at a division. Solve x divided by 4 equals 9. So we have x divided by 4 here equals 9, so we're going to multiply both sides. So that's going to be 4 times x divided by 4 equals 9 times 4. Oops, I don't know what happened there. Times 4. So that goes away, and now x equals 36. Okay? Now, when you have more than one operation indicated, so if you have a multiplication and a adding, or a multiplication and a subtracting, you undo the additions and subtractions first, and then you undo the multiplication and division. So as a rule, you always do addition and subtraction before multiplying and dividing. So let's look at one of those. If we have 3x plus 5 equals 17. So 3x plus 5 equals 17. So first we need to get rid of this plus 5, so that's going to be 3x plus 5 minus 5 equals 17 minus 5. Okay, so that's going to go away. So you're going to have 3x equals 12. Now we do the the division part. So 3x divided by 3 equals 12 divided by 3. Again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So x equals 4. Okay, so first you do your addition or subtraction, and then you do your multiplication and division. Let's try another one. So let's solve for 2x minus 7 equals 10. So 2x minus 7, so this time we're going to add, plus 7 equals 10 plus 7. That's going to weigh 2x, oops, I don't know why that keeps doing that. 2x equals 17. So now we need to get rid of the 2 here. So 2x divided by 2 equals 17 divided by 2. That goes away. So x equals 8.5. Okay, so that's how you do that one. Let's do one more with the division and subtraction. Solve for x divided by 5 minus 10 equals 22. Alright, so this one we have this negative 10, so we've got to do the addition for that first. So it's going to be x divided by 5 minus 10 plus 10 equals 22 plus 10. So that goes away. So we have x divided by 5 equals 32. Now we want to get rid of this 5, so we're going to multiply both sides. So that's going to be 5 times x divided by 5 equals 32 times 5. That goes away, and x equals 160. Okay? So that's what we do. Now, to solve an equation with variables on both sides, first you add or subtract either variable term from both sides of the equation, and then you add or subtract from both sides of the equation the constant term that now appears on the same side of the equation with the variable. So when you have it on both sides, you've got to get the x on the same side. Okay? So let's look at that. It's easier just to show you. So solve 3x plus 6 equals 7x minus 2. So you notice you have an x here and an x here, and two whole numbers. So we need to get these x's on the same side of the equation. Okay? So to do that, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. So 3x plus 6 minus 3x equals 7x minus 2 minus 3x. Again, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other. Okay? So now this gets rid of that. So you have 6 equals 7x minus 3x is going to be 4x. So let's fix that. So it's going to be 4x minus 2. Okay? Alright, so we still have this minus 2 on the wrong side of the equation, so we need to add 2 to both sides. So it's going to be 6 plus 2 equals 4x. 4x minus 2 plus 2. So that gets rid of that. Now we have 8 equals 4x. We still have this x with a whole number with it, so we need to get it by itself. It's multiplied, so we're going to divide both sides by 4. So that's going to be 8/4 equal 4x divided by 4. So that goes away, and now we have 2 equals x. So you just work it step by step, take your time. The most important thing to remember, and the easiest thing to remember, is whatever you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other, and you have to get the x by itself. So let's do one more. So let's solve 4x minus 2. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. 4x minus 2 equals minus 5x plus 10. Okay, so you have two x's here. Alright, So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 5x to both sides. So this is going to be 4x minus 2 plus 5x equals minus 5x plus 10 plus 5x. So that's going to do away with that. And then here you're going to have 9x, 4x plus 5x is 9x, minus 2 equals 10. Okay. So now we need to get this 2 over here to this side. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. So that's going to be 9x minus 2 plus 2 equals 10 plus 2. That's going to go away. And we're going to have 9x equals 12. Okay. So now we need to get x still by itself. So since this is a multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by 9. So it's going to be 9x divided by 9 equals 12 divided by 9. That goes away. And x equals 4/3. And that's how we work that problem. Okay? So if you have any questions, just rewind this and keep watching it and work through these problems, and you'll be fine. All right, let's talk about this for a minute. Now, if you have some with parentheses, you always have to do the parentheses first, okay? So here's the rules. If the parentheses are preceded by a plus sign, they may be removed without changing any signs. So if you have a parentheses preceded by a plus sign, you can just drop the parentheses. Now, if the parentheses are preceded, well, let's look at that for a second. So if you 2 plus 3 minus 5 equals 2 plus 3 minus 5. So notice that this plus sign right here is before the parentheses, so you can just drop the parentheses. Okay? Let's look at another one. 3 plus x plus 4 equals, again, you can just drop these parentheses because you have this plus sign. So that's going to be 3 plus x plus 4. Okay? Now what if you have one like this? 5x plus negative x, 6x plus 9. That's going to equal the same thing. It's got the plus before the parentheses, so you drop it. But you have to leave that negative sign there. So that's going to be 5x minus 6x plus 9. Okay? So that's the rule. If you have a parentheses and it's preceded by a plus sign, you just drop the parentheses and you don't have to worry about it, okay? Now, if the parentheses are preceded by a minus sign, the parentheses may be removed if all the signs of the numbers or letters within the parentheses are changed. So if you have a negative sign, you got to do the negative throughout the parentheses. So here's an example of that. 2 minus 3 minus 5 equals 2 minus 3 plus 5. All right, notice right here we have a negative sign. So you've got to distribute that throughout the parentheses. So that's going to be 2 minus 3. And a negative times a negative is going to be a positive from earlier. So you're going to have 2 minus 3 plus 5. Okay? Now, let's look at another one. What if you had this one? 7x minus 4x minus 11. What do you do? Okay, again, you have this negative sign. So 7x minus and a minus, so that's going to be a plus 4x, and a minus times a minus is a positive, so it's going to be plus 11. Okay, so this is the first rule. This is the second rule. First rule says that if you have a plus sign, you just drop the parentheses. The second rule says if you have a negative sign, you distribute the negative throughout the parentheses. Now the third rule says that if the parentheses are preceded by a number, the parentheses may be removed if each of the terms inside the parentheses is multiplied by that number. So let's try that. 2x plus 4 equals, so 2 times x, and 2 times x and 2 times 4 plus 8. So you just distribute it throughout the parentheses. What if you had this one? 3 times x minus 5. Again, that's going to be minus 3x plus 15. Okay, so minus 3x plus 15. 3 times 5 is 15. What if you have this one? 2 minus 4 times 3x minus 5 equals 2 minus 12x plus 20. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you the answer before I even explained it, didn't I? Alright, so we got 2, so you just bring 2 over here. Now you have negative 4 times 3x. Well, that's going to be negative 12x, or minus 12x. And then you have minus 4 times minus 5. That's going to be plus 20. Okay, and that's all you have to do. Pretty easy, not too hard. But let's work a problem where we've got to solve for x like that, okay? So let's start over. So we have solve 3x minus 4 equals 15. Oops, 3x minus 4 equals 15. And we're going to solve for x. So first of all, we need to distribute this 3 throughout the parentheses. And since it's not adding, it's multiplying, you have to distribute the 3 throughout. So that's going to be 3x minus 12 equals 15. Okay, now we've got it to a working solution that we've done before. So 3x minus 12 equals 15. So what do we do first? We need to get this 12 out of here, okay? So that's going to be 3x minus 12 plus 12 equals 15 plus 12. That's going away. So you have 3x equals 27. Now we need to get this x by itself, and that's a multiplication, so we're going to divide. 3x divided by 3 equals 27 divided by 3. 3 goes away, and x equals 9. Okay? Pretty easy. The main thing is do your distribution through the equation, and then solve it just like we've been doing. Okay? Let's look at another one. Solve for this. 2x minus 3x plus 15 equals 4x minus 1. Alright, so first we need to get rid of these parentheses. So we got this negative sign here, okay? So let's get rid of that. So we have 2x minus 3x minus 15 equals 4x minus 1. Now we have a regular equation. We have several x's, so we need to work through that. First we have this 2x minus 3x. So that's going to be negative 1x, but you can drop the 1 and just call it x. Minus 15 equals 4x minus 1. Alright, so let's get 15 by itself. I missed something somewhere, hold on. Oh, let's get rid of, let's put the x on this side of the equation first. Yeah, let's do that. So if we have negative x, or minus x, we're going to add x. So minus x, because you don't want a negative value to end up with. So minus x minus 15 plus x equals 4x minus 1 plus x. So that gets rid of this x. So that's going to be minus 15 equals 5x minus 1. Okay. So now let's add 1 to both sides. So minus 15 plus 1 equals 5x minus 1 plus 1. So that goes away. So you have minus 14 equals 5x. So now we need to still get this x by itself and its multiplication, so we're going to divide. So that's going to be minus 14 divided by 5 equals 5x divided by 5. 5's go away, excuse me, and that's going to end up being negative 2.8 equals x. Okay, so let's talk through this one time real quick. So we had 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 15 equals 4x minus 1. So the first thing you got to do is get rid of the parentheses. So to do that, you have to distribute that negative sign throughout. So 2x minus 3x minus 15 equals 4x minus 1. Okay. Once you get that, then you need to combine all your x's. So you got 2x minus 3x, so that's going to give you a negative 1x minus 15 equals 4x minus 1. And then from there, you know how to solve it. Okay. So now you need to work problems, and I'll post this, problems A.3 on page 664, 1 through 39 odd. Now remember, these type problems have to have how you worked them. If you just give me the answer, I will not accept it on your homework. You'll get a 0. These problems have to be to show your answers. Okay? Alright, well that's the end of this video. The next one that I'm going to do is quadratic equations, and then I'll do some trigonometry. So be watching for those videos. Okay? I hope you have a good day. Thank you.